It's just
Yo,
the podcast man in it.
yeah. Yo, welcome to the AMLoB Podcast. Kind of got a late start than what we typically do, but had some technical difficulties with people getting on and stuff like that. But we have me and Corey bringing the power rankings to you. Probably talk a little league stuff on top of the power rankings, but and we have an Emmons sighting.
I beat Josh in VFL.
That's what's up.
After playing horrible against Crips, so I'm kind of upset with myself.
Give me some tips because I've got him next week.
Honestly, it's tough to say because we play each other completely differently because we know each other's tendencies, so we completely play off of our norm.
Perfect. Great advice. Thank you.
He's gonna. I mean, obviously the Jags he's gonna run a lot of man coverage. He likes to blitz.
They like Emmons. I got this.
We actually do kind of play like each other. So, but he's just a better version of me. And he has the Jags.
Yeah, that's the spooky part.
Yeah. I lost Josh Allen went down, but he's back next week. AJ McCarron led a game-winning drive. I told him, I said, AJ, I just looked him in the eyes. I said, AJ, roll tide, buddy. And he went in there and got me into field goal range. You know who my head coach is in VFL?
The linebacker from last year.
Joe Bocci.
Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
So, but anyways, we are live, Emmons. So,
hello.
You actually came in on the intro.
Nice.
But yeah, so like I said, we're gonna talk a little pod stuff. We're gonna, of course, our typical power rankings. Rankings.
There's a lot of strike going on in the main chat. People aren't happy with you, Corey.
I'm not even the one playing right now.
That is very true.
Wish I was.
A 30 for 30 is the story of a Phantom Advance. Love it. Connor's giving it to Roger right now in VFL. Hopefully it doesn't backfire on him. What happened to him versus Austin today?
Ooh, that was tough to watch for Austin.
Yeah.
But hey, I mean, that was a run to see though.
Yes, it was.
Anyways,
I like how Crips did half of his rankings.
He basically did a top 10 and that was it.
Right. All right, so I guess we'll just start with that since I brought up power rankings.
Yeah. So let's do it.
Jaguars coming in at number 1. Josh, who's holding up the league right now.
Thanks, Josh.
Huh?
I said thanks, Josh.
And then you'll be holding it even longer, so you'll be public enemy number 1 because everybody will be thinking we're advancing after that game, and then Corey's got to play. I mean, I don't know. He has the Jags, and he was number 1 to start the season, and he hasn't lost. He beat Grid and the Giants, so I mean he's got a couple impressive wins, and if he beats the Jets, he'll be 4-0 as well. So I don't really see why he wouldn't be number 1.
Yeah, I mean, when you have a guy when you have a team like Josh does, a lot of expectations are heaped on you just based off of, what you got, the team you got alone. I mean, what he's done with that has been something to see because, I mean, he definitely hasn't given anyone a reason to not put him at number 1.
Yeah, adding that trade he had where he added Ryan Kerrigan was huge too. The game he played against Grid, he made a couple huge plays off the edge.
Yeah.
Kerrigan's a pretty awesome sleeper player, especially if you throw him down at defensive end because he's got great strength and power move.
He's kind of been using his rookie safety Harrison, I think his last name is, and then Monte kind of because he's keeping Gibson out there, so he's kind of using them both. So he's really utilizing all of his pieces he has out there on that loaded defense.
Yeah, so I mean, I mean, he's doing great things over there with the Jags. So, I mean, obviously he earned the number 1 rank. No reason to take it from him. So,
yeah, for sure.
So, yep. I think that pretty much wraps up number 1.
I'm trying to go. My sheet's not working right now. I can't see anything. I think it's me.
2 is the Lions.
Hi.
By a pretty wide margin. So Josh was unanimous, and LJ gave you some hate by
LJ just hates me. It's okay.
Put you at number 3 as opposed to number 2.
It's okay. LJ hated on himself too, so LJ's just full of hate today.
So,
Crips and Corey love me.
Emmons has some pretty solid wins. He's got one over Michael Robert, who beat me and Lights. J-Ro, who kind of killed it with a crappy Skins team in 18. And then also which I don't know if this game happened before Power Rankings, but he beat Isaiah, who's got...
Yeah, that was right at advance. It was ugly for me at first. I was down 17-0 and came back. I should have lost, but I didn't.
Yeah. So, I mean, of the undefeateds, I thought you were the best team.
Thanks, Corey.
At the time.
LJ doesn't believe I belong here, so. Where's Crips, by the way?
Oh, his class takes attendance at the end of class.
He told Isaiah he couldn't play until after the pod, like after he gets off of the pod at 10. So he assumed it was. I don't know. We'll rip on Crips later.
Very true. Very true. So yeah, but Emmons at number 2 makes sense. Oh shit! I don't even know what I'm doing. Oh god damn.
Oh, you're playing a game, aren't you?
I am, and I definitely was not paying attention.
Oh, I should probably be carrying this if you're in a game. Yeah, I mean, the reason I put myself at 2 as well is against, like, besides, you know, the Eagles and Panthers, and there really just wasn't. This early in the season, it's hard to rack up a lot of key wins. So I felt like my win against Robert was more impressive than any of the other teams, so that's why I put myself there. Number 3, we have Sports with the Eagles, who his rankings were all over the place, which is Corey had him at 4, LJ had him at 2, I had him at 5, and Crips had him all the way at 7. I think 7's a little harsh. He is 3-0 with a forced win, but I mean he took care of business his other 2 games. He's 3-0.
Well, he lost today, but I mean that doesn't matter.
He lose to? Oh, he lost to Grid.
Yeah, but I mean it's not like it matters towards the rankings. But
right,
you know,
he'll be maybe Crips knew something beforehand. Maybe Crips I don't know, found a way to make the EA gods favorite Grid.
Maybe.
I don't know much about sports, so I can't really comment on this one too much. I think Corey would probably know a little more about him than I would, but
I mean, he's a solid player. He's just, in terms of AMLoB, he kind of killed it with the Patriots the first 3 seasons.
Yeah, I remember that.
18, and then he dipped out. I can't remember if he didn't have enough time or what it was, but I mean, he's a solid player. I think the issue more so with his losing of the number 1 preseason spot was due to having the best team in the game and kind of underperforming in terms of how he's played against his competition.
Yeah. That Eagles team's loaded. I feel like, you know, I think is adjusting to this new Madden's a big part of it too, so I feel like he can definitely make a move, you know, coming in the next few weeks. That division's tougher than I thought it would be though. Number 5 or 4, we got LJ, who everybody had LJ at 3 except himself. He put himself all the way at 9, which is extremely low. Like, I mean, I get it, but you're 3-0 and you had yourself at 9. Like, I don't know if you're like pulling like the Mark D'Antonio thing, the disrespect. disrespect trait where he wants to motivate his players with that. But man, I think 4 is a fair spot for you. I had you at 3, as did Kirps and Corey. So it's clear what we think you are. But like I said, you go ahead. I'll let you.
So my logic with it is and maybe this is just me heaping my own like personal expectations on the rankings. I don't think I've been like a top 5 in the rankings type of guy this season. At least not so far. So that's just my opinion. That's why I've ranked myself at 9, because I just feel like there's other people that have been more impressive, even though even though their record may not reflect what that is. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I see that, like, maybe Cripps ahead of you, or maybe Robert. But, I mean, at the end of the day, you're 3-0. You beat who you've played on your schedule. You haven't lost yet. So, I think you have one of the top offenses in the league statistically. So, it's not like you're doing it without performing.
Yeah, very true.
See, LJ, you just got to give yourself credit sometimes, man.
I was gonna say that was my logic on it. He's undefeated, put in work, and we know what he can do from a user perspective. And the games that he's played, he's faced adversity and come out of it with a not great roster. So it's a plus to do well or win out with a project team, as opposed to scraping by with an elite team.
Well, I appreciate the love. I don't know. We'll figure it out here in Carolina.
So, number 5 team. So, we have an undefeated down the list, it looks like. Number 5 is Cripps and his Saints. I mean, I haven't got to watch any of Cripps' games except for his one against Connor. It's kind of he's got a great team. Who beat him? I can't remember now. But he kind of suffered a rough loss.
Arthur
got him, which Arthur's team is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, Arthur dumped him pretty bad. But, I mean, with Cripps, he's had a very impressive season. It's especially seeing as how the Saints are one of the better, teams as far as like Saints are one of the better teams as far as like just to start out with and some of the pieces they have and those type of things. So I think Cripps being there isn't a big deal at all. I think he's earned it. Aside from the loss, like we were talking about, aside from the loss to Arthur, I mean, can you really? You can't really fault the man's season at all. So,
yeah, he was my early season pick to win the South for season 1.
He's mine too. But yeah, it's just my opinion. I don't know. I feel like that team is primed and ready more than most teams that you would have to go against this early in the CFM. Oh, damn. He tried that. He tried it. But yeah, that's just my opinion. So who are we on to now?
Looks like Robert and his Niners. So I kind of can start on it. I played Robert.
Okay.
Not last week, but the week before. I mean, plays extremely solid. He kind of mixes in his game really well of both keeping you honest on the run and passing really well. I don't know, did we just lose Emmons?
I think we did.
And he played really solid defense. And he beat me. I was undefeated at the time. And then he turned around and he beat Lights, who's been a pretty prestigious user in the league for whatever, 8 seasons that we did in 18.
Yeah.
Had one of the best winning records and has a great team in 19.
Hello?
So
Yeah.
welcome back.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to talk the whole time and I realized you guys couldn't hear me. Like I'm trying to give my Crips opinion and I couldn't.
Well, go. Feel free. Go ahead.
My thing with Crips is I think you look at the schedule, you would think the one loss he would have had to worry about was against Pook, but he beat him. So my thing is with Crips, I was thinking he should be 4-0 right now. And then with Robert, on the other hand, when I did these predictions, I had him actually finishing 6-10, and he's come out, and beat a user like Corey and beat a user like Lights, which is why I have Robert ahead of Crips, in my opinion. With Crips having the better team and one less impressive win, and then Robert having the more impressive or the least impressive team and having another key win over Crips. That's why I had him at number 5 instead. Yeah, I just kind of guess I kind of covered both of them, so I'll let you guys go ahead and carry it away with Robert at 6.
Okay. Well, my thing with Corey already gave his thing. My thing with Robert is that like Corey was saying with the both of y'all were saying with the less than stellar team. With the less than stellar team, he's done great things. So I mean, what is what's really the ceiling on it? You know what I'm saying? Just seeing how.
I guess my thing is I think his loss according to the rankings, Robert has a stronger loss than Crips does too, and that was another thing that went into my ranking of that.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really paid much attention to anyone else.
Yeah, it's a little too early in the season really to be worrying about who's where and what's what, because I mean, come the end of the season, it's going to be a completely different set of rankings.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's tough to put stock in stuff now. Stuff right now will impact later on in the season, but stuff can change so much in the first couple weeks.
So I think we talked about Robert a little bit, so I guess we can just kind of move on to number 7 here, who is the other undefeated, which is the Redskins, who honestly has been a huge surprise this year for me. He came in, I mean, given stuff's 0-4 now, but that win week 1 looked really good for him coming into the league after struggling a little bit in the end of Madden 18, picking up with that Bears team. And then he beat stuff. I mean, he's taking care of business. He's 3-0. I don't know what I don't know. Did he have a bye or?
This week is a bye. So week 1 he beat Suff by 5. Then week 2 he beat Splooge by 6, and then he beat June by 10 last week. Okay.
All right. Yeah. So I mean, being undefeated is, especially after originally where I thought he'd end up. He's been the surprise of the top 10, actually the surprise of the league for me so far, other than guys like Suff and Matthew being 0-4. But the positive.
Matthew was going to be upset tomorrow about that ranking.
he's got quite the stretch ahead of him. Redskins does.
Yeah, so it's time to prove it time.
Yeah, I would say there is not a single gimme. Just rattling off his remaining schedule, it's Crips, LJ, Isaiah, Arthur, Matthew, Connor, Levi, Isaiah, Sports, Arthur, Josh, Grid, Sports.
Oh, man.
He might go 3-13. That is a rough.
I want you to read Isaiah's schedule from week 1 on. This might be one of the toughest schedules I've ever seen in my life in a Madden league. After you look at Isaiah's schedule,
Yeah, Isaiah's LJ, Arthur, Shank, Emmons, Levi, Josh, Spider Skins, bye week, then Grid, Sports, Matthew, Spider Skins, Crips, Sports, Splooge, Connor, Arthur. I really hate my schedule this season, which I can wait for my spot before I say anything on it. But there's some murder schedules out there for guys. But I think that just is kind of how the league is. Now we have so many good people, it's hard to have an easy schedule.
Very true.
Yeah, like my beginning of the schedule is definitely the easier part of it. So being 4-0 was almost like a need for me, especially with this Lions roster the way it is right now. Because Austin, even though he struggled a little bit, had a couple losses, but he's not going to be an easy division opponent to beat. I know. I think Spencer's been playing a little better. I know I got LJ on my schedule still, along with who else? I think I play. I forgot what divisions. I play the AFC East and the NFC West. So I play Shank, who's in the top 10. Chand, who's always a tough user, and whoever else is out there in the West. I can't think of it. But yeah, schedule. I don't think you can get an easy schedule in AMLoB anymore.
Yeah, I think that's pretty. I think that ship is sailed.
What game are you playing, by the way, LJ?
AMLoC.
Oh, okay. Who are you playing there? My guy hasn't hit me back.
Chaz.
I hit him 3 times
Panther.
already. I haven't heard anything.
To be honest, if I lose this game, it is nothing but my fault. But whatever.
How do you like those Bengals?
This is the first game I played with him. So
I love the Colts. I really like the Colts after that game versus Eli. But who were we on? We were on the Redskins. We got into talking about schedules. So after him is Raj. He beat Bishes, who struggled early on, but he's 2-2, and Dicey, who's also kind of been up and down in the first few weeks. He beat Pook, and then I forgot who else he beat. Yeah, that might be it. Yeah, Pook.
Roger. Here, I'll flip over to his schedule.
Ooh, I fudged up Dicey's key losses. I had him losing to himself.
oh.
So Roger, week 1, he laid it to Bishes 31-10, which if I remember right, it was like 31-0.
Mm-hmm.
For the
it was 31-0
most of the game,
or 27-0, and they lagged out.
37-3 over Maddie and his Bagels. Then Roger lost to Crown 33-28, the BUM, and then he beat Dicey 29-27.
Yeah, Roger surprised me a little bit so far. I thought he might struggle a little bit with this Ravens team, but he's 3-1. Losing to Crown was surprising, but he's also started off good as well. So not a horrible loss.
A Crips level hot take here is that Roger might be the most overrated top 10 person with really only one quality win being Dicey.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Okay.
I'm not loving this win.
Also,
these wins here.
I also don't think Austin should be in the top 10 because I don't think Crips ranking for him was accurate. I think he had that whole thing fucked up.
He did.
Oh wow.
He did.
That's a big 5 spot. That's a user spot right there.
Well, no, he has Robert at 5 and Austin at 5. His teams were sorted differently than ours, so he was ranking everybody. Like I was 30th on his rankings at first.
Yeah, and then I think he just was. I think
honestly, if I take that off, I think he's still above Grid. He didn't rank him, but if he ranked him 11, let's see what happens. Nothing. It actually improves it. All right, so I guess Austin stays there at 9. That's fine.
Anything, it just it flips him to 9 or to 10.
Yeah, which I'm fine with. Before this loss to Connor, I wouldn't be upset with him being in the top 10.
Yeah. Either way, he's top 10. It's either 9 or 10.
Yep.
which is really
Wow.
just honorable mention for.
Talk about a Crips take though. Roger, most overrated top 10 member this week coming into AMLoB. So I guess with that, before we get any further, who's the most underrated ranking that you guys see anywhere on here? Also, actually, no. There's no way Shank does not deserve to be in the top 10. Crips has him at 27. I'm just going to put him at 10 in Crips ranking, and that moved him up to 9.
How did he rank him so poorly?
Because his sheet was all screwed up. Okay, so we're going to put Shank at 9 and keep you at 10, Corey. Is that okay with you? And move Austin to 11.
Well, that's how the average works out. If you put Shank
Right.
at 10, that moves him up to 9 as the average score. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Shank, you almost got screwed by Crips. He had you at 27th, bud. 27th. Talk about, I mean, I know Crips likes his hot takes, but come on. Okay, so now that we've kind of fixed that.
Chris
debacle.
thinks it's still the CPU in Madden 18.
We got covered Roger. Now, speaking of Shank, we're going to cover Shank here at number 9. His only loss was a forced loss to Isaiah, so he very well could be 4-0 right now.
Yeah.
He beat Austin and he beat Crown. Both guys are he was their only loss until Austin lost today. So 2 impressive wins. He's 3-1, could be 4-0. So I think 9's a good spot for him, especially with that roster over there. I don't think there's an offensive lineman that I'd want to even look at on his roster. So he played well.
I have them in lock, and it's a dumpster fire.
Yeah, dude. It's funny, like the 3 teams I have, like I wanted only 1 rebuild this year, and I ended up with 3. I got the Lions, the Bills, and the Colts. Although, given I have I have my future quarterbacks and set in stone. So, and Andrew Luck is very fun to play with, by the way. And that takes us to Mr. Corey to round us out, who has beaten Lights and Dicey, and his only loss is to Robert. And are you getting a forced win this week, or a fair sim, or what's going on?
It's forced win. Crown can't play. He's hanging out with his wife.
Gotcha. So you're gonna be 3-1. You're always, I feel like you always are in the top 10, unless you are absolutely atrocious. Even when you were tanking, you were kind of lurking around. So
Yeah. I mean, Corey's handling business with his squad. Apparently Perrine has been a really good, really big pickup, and it shows. So,
I need to figure out how to pass the ball. Something fierce.
that too.
yeah, I've been okay passing, but like I had
32nd ranked pass offense.
I had 430 yards versus Isaiah though, so
This Bengals team is so bad. But anyways, continue.
So I mean that kind of rounds it out.
Yeah.
I'm probably I'm exhausted, so I'm probably gonna head out here. I wanted to be here for the power rankings. Once we start getting more stuff to talk about, the pods will probably be an hour again. I mean, you guys can obviously stay on here and talk, but right now it's kind of just we're all kind of getting acclimated to the game. There's really not too much to talk about yet, I don't think. Probably not until we get past quarter 2, like halfway through the season.
Give our honorable mention shout outs being Grid in Austin.
Yes. Yeah, Grid in Austin. There's who else is there that's kind of just lurking around here?
After that is, I think it's Jeff with the Dolphins.
Yeah, Jeff's been impressive. Surprises to me is Suff and Matthew. I expected Connor to struggle a little bit with that Buccaneers roster to start the league. Matthew had the Falcons, and I thought he was going to be a threat to win the division this year. And
that definitely did not materialize.
No, he's 0-4, along with Suff. So both of those guys have to dig out a huge holes. There's a lot of winless teams right now, and it's looking like it's going to stay that way past this week.
Yeah. Well, Suff's the way he's kind of approaching this first season or two. I think that's his his actual tactic of
I mean,
get young, honestly, build, and compete. I don't know that that's Matthew's strategy.
Well, I don't think you really can go that route with the Falcons. I mean, you can, but I mean, you're gonna have to draft a quarterback on at some point.
Well, I mean, I think he plans on trying to get younger at the quarterback position, but Matthew's always been a big fan of having a lot of speed. So
speed. Yeah.
So for him, it's probably that's probably the biggest thing is that's probably the biggest thing is drafting the guys that he wants to make his team into the team that he thinks that he needs to be. So
also Pook DM'd me. Apparently him and Roger are playing at 10 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday.
Okay.
Which honestly I really don't care as long as games get played.
I really don't care either, to be real.
But all right, boys, I'm gonna head out for the night. I don't know if you guys are closing. I'll stay for the closing if you are, but I'm about to hit the old dusty trail.
All right.
Talk to you later, Emmons.
See you guys.
Cool. But yeah, I mean, that was the power rankings. I don't know. I think with Matthew and Suff, I think Suff has a plan. I'm not sure exactly what Matthew's plan is, but I'm sure that'll come to the light here sooner rather than later.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I haven't been in a league where he's been around long term. That I don't know. If I had that kind of head start of a team, I wouldn't waste time on chances for success, just given how difficult it is to. I don't know. Not even that league. Yeah, not even that windows are like limited. It's just like Pook is a good example. Now, granted, he had a playoffs somewhat robbed from him with an AP, but in 8 seasons with the Browns team, where
I've seen PA crossers more times than I care to count. Continue.
I was just gonna say, like it was a game where you could kind of plug and play people. Didn't really matter in terms of like how you developed them, and they could perform well for you. And he had just like top to bottom one of the best teams. He had the best team in the AFC pretty much the entire cycle, and he made 2 Super Bowls. So kind of kicking the tires too much when you have a better window than like your Panthers do or the Buccaneers do. It's just, if that is the approach, I don't necessarily agree with it.
I don't either. Like I said, I really don't get it because in my opinion, in my experience in this league, that is a tall task to consistently be good in this league. So, I think if you have a window, you should take it. But I mean, maybe that's not what he wants to do. So we'll have to see exactly. We'll have to see exactly how he plans on going about building this team into what he wants it to be.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a different way of looking at teams, though, I guess. So there's not a lot of stuff that I can see that needs to be fixed or improved in that roster.
Well,
so drastically to take L's that easily or that much.
And that's the thing, like, with and because that team, it's not like that team doesn't have good young pieces on it. So it's just kind of like, it's not like that team doesn't have good young pieces on it. So it's kind of crazy to try to see exactly what why he hasn't really trying to take, because I mean a big part of it to me is just the development. And I feel like you're missing out on a lot of development time whenever you're doing that, when you're not taking advantage of the head start that you have, especially in a division where you have two of the lesser teams in the league, at least as far as roster wise, in the division. So
yeah, and I feel bad saying that it's intentional because it might not be. It might just be difficulty adjusting. But
yeah, it might just be.
Man, I feel like I should trade for Ron Parker and move him to corner since he's been shopping him, because he'd be an awesome cornerback. He's old as dirt, but
that is very true. But I mean, I was going to say you can make any player work essentially. So,
good God, what is going on with that Jets-Jags game?
I don't know. I heard he was up like 34-3 or 34-0 or something like that.
Yeah,
but that was awesome.
Yeah, I have not got the notification that the game has ended yet. So yeah, Grid beat Sports 16-3.
Wow.
Oh, did we just get the notification? There we go. Oh my gosh, Josh. 58-3.
Jesus.
Yeah, we might have to look at that one. Make sure nothing was exceeded. That's a little intense. All right, I just advanced the league. Notify the chat for anybody that's listening.
Whatever. Yeah, I'll come back and do that later. And Michael said that was rough.
Oh, damn. That's where you just start taking knees. Just like, nope, no more scores for you.
Yeah, but I don't know. So, I mean, that's pretty much all I got as far as like, surprise teams, things like that. Do you have anything?
Let me see that. No, I mean, I've just kind of been happy that there's been a shakeup of who's dominated and kind of getting more rotation in the parity, I guess. And that's kind of what I hope happens through the cycle of you'll have a team that's at that upper echelon for 2 or 3 seasons, and then they start to fall back because their guys are older or they've traded off all of their top end picks and like it's starting to come home to roost, or they blow their money in free agency. Like in the 4-year system kind of catches up to them that way. There's more opportunity for those middle of the pack teams to climb into wild card spots or take the division for the back half of the cycle.
Yeah, I think that'll be a big thing too, because now guys won't be able to load up 3 and 4 deep at a position. A lot of times they're not going to have that extra, those extra guys. They'll be a little thin at some positions, a little deeper at others. So I think that's something that'll be good to see.
Yeah, I think the whole contract thing is not quite understood in terms of how it'll impact the league deeper in. Just guys that are used to throwing 7 years at someone, and by the time the big money comes around, the next game's about ready to come out, and you never really have to worry about strategizing how you're going to pay your season 2 first-round pick that's now a 90 overall, because you'll just be able to throw 7 years at him and afford it.
Yeah. I mean, it's I think that's something that'll be. Damn it, son! You would just.
Jalen Ramsey might be our defensive player of the year. He's got defensive player of the week 2 out of the 4 weeks.
What did he get a pick or 2?
In week 1, he had 3 interceptions, and then he had 2 more interceptions in week 3.
Okay.
Pook took AFC offensive and defensive player of the week with Mayfield and Kindred.
All right. Well, I think it's time for us to shut down the pod for the night.
That works. Yeah.
So,
like Evan said, hopefully we'll have more to talk about as it gets deeper.
Yeah. But anyways, appreciate everybody that watched. Of course, power rankings will come out tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. And yeah, we out.